Hi, my name is Rob Scott from UC Today News, and in this session I'm joined by Andy Lark, who's the Chief Marketing Officer at Dubber, and we're going to be discussing why Dubber and AT&T believes hybrid work will be the default work style by 2024, with half of all work being performed off-site. So let's dive in. Welcome, Andy.
Hey, great to be with you, Rob.
Thanks for joining me. Just before we dive in, how about we just do a quick introduction? Tell us a little bit about Dubber, please.
Sure. So Dubber was a company born many years ago when call recording was just getting going, but it's really transformed itself into the global leader in unified call recording and conversational AI. So what makes Dubber very, very different than the first wave of that industry is we embed ourselves at the heart of service provider networks and UC platforms, mobile networks, and the like. We enable any conversation to be captured, turned and transformed into data, enriched with AI, all in the cloud. And so we're working with service providers and major UC providers all around the world to make that possible for businesses of nearly really any size today.
Fantastic. Andy, so tell me about your recent study. I mean, what were the most significant customer trends you identified?
It was really interesting because I mean, you just realize how quickly the tech industry moves, right, and how technology moves. When we did the study, hybrid working was sort of in its full vertical liftoff trajectory, and we really discovered this massive chasm across the enterprise. So, one in the enterprise, CEOs and everyone getting very, very excited about hybrid working and creating more agile, versatile workforces. In the middle, a bunch of middle managers going, we don't have the tools, we still don't have the technology, we don't have the policies. And right at the bottom, workers just going, what's going on around here? We need help. So there was an enormous gap that existed in the workforce that is going through hybrid working. But at the same time, these same C-level executives were sort of saying, look, we fundamentally believe AI is central to empowering hybrid working. Now, in hindsight, as we look at all this research we've been doing around the world, what is clear to us is what they're really saying is we hope that unified communications, that AI, machine learning, natural language processing, all these great technologies coming together will sort of usher in a new age of collaboration. Because the central challenge posed by hybrid working isn't actually where we work, it's more how do we collaborate and work together. And the survey really exposed that in spades, where people said, yeah, it's great. I've got Microsoft Teams, I've got Cisco WebEx, I've got Zoom, whatever flavor I've got. But how do I collaborate and how do I stay connected to a workforce that's now dispersed all around me and my customers are equally dispersed? So the challenges it exposed were really, really interesting.
Well, nice segue into my next question. Let's kind of dive into those challenges a little bit. In terms of the future of work, I mean, what are those big challenges going to be?
Well, I think the first challenge is ending not knowing. Right. If you think about the workplace today, most of us could get a sense for how employees are traveling, how colleagues are traveling as we bump into them around the office. Now we don't know. And so that ability of AI to surface what the sentiment is of an organization, how different teams or different agents are traveling in their day, that's the first thing. The second thing that it really surfaced was this real need for tools that could once be assisted by humans in the office that now need to be assisted by humans who aren't in the office. So a great example of that is dispute resolution, where this sort of chasm that's emerged between the business and its customers and its employees has really elevated solving things like disputes. And so suddenly now I've got not just a full audio record, but a transcribed record along with keyword alerts along that's searchable in an instant in real time. And I can better serve customers and I can better assist and serve my employees. And I'd say the third trend that really surfaced was this growing pressure in all these businesses to satisfy compliance mandates. And you saw this in spades, for instance, in the UK, where the regulator took the pedal off requiring conversational recording as part of their mandates to the financial services sector. When hybrid working reached peak velocity, they put those brakes back on and said, no, you need to start recording everything. And a bunch of folks were left running around going, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this at scale, compliantly, securely, and safely? Because the notion of primitive call recording that sits in a lot of these apps does not answer that requirement. And just over the past few weeks, we've seen other industries being hit with the same compliance mandates. The new medical mandates in the US, for instance, require it. So while we love the benefits of our UC platforms, how can I get them to operate in exactly the same way in terms of compliance, security, etc., that my legacy platforms might have done? But I don't want to do it the way I did it with the legacy platforms with expensive on-premise software and services and hardware. I don't want to do it with expensive proprietary vendors. I literally want to migrate to this thing we call the conversation cloud and treat every conversation as a source of rich data. So those are three big things we saw. There's many others, but those were three big things we saw in the survey.
Fantastic. And from a partner perspective, I mean, how can they help guide their customers to getting the best from all that data?
Well, I think the first thing partners are struggling with is differentiation. And I talk to a ton of partners of major UC providers globally. And it's all great, but if everyone's selling Teams or everyone's selling Cisco Webex, how do I differentiate? And the simple answer is it's differentiation through your core service. You sell today, if you're a partner of a major UC platform, you primarily sell a connection, right? I'm mainly selling the ability for Rob and Andy to have this conversation and work our magic together. But now what if I can sell the value of that conversation? What if I can turn that conversation into data? What if I can AI enrich that data? What if I could end the need for anyone in that workforce to take manual notes? What if all meetings were transcribed and actions were automatically identified and connected to apps? What if all my CRM data was automatically enriched with real records of conversations with customers? Suddenly I'm a very, very different kind of organization. And I think for the past sort of decade or so, many partners of the major UC platforms have been trying to supplement that undifferentiated revenue that isn't particularly sticky with all kinds of bolt-ons and add-ons. And in fact, the real opportunity is in every conversation flowing on the network that they're making possible. And so I think as a partner, having a cohesive strategy and solution set that starts with recording, but actually isn't about recording. It's about creating conversational data at scale and making it useful for businesses is a source of immediate revenue, immediate retention. You're creating immense stickiness with the customer, and it's a source of immense differentiation. And from it, you get to innovate and deliver all kinds of new services. Imagine you saying to your customers, hey, would you like a customer experience widget that sits on your phone? We can create that for you in an instant. Because we have all the conversational data, I can tell you exactly how every one of your agents is feeling today. I can tell you how your customers are feeling. I can tell you the sentiment of your phone calls that are coming in to your remote agents. So there's immense power in voice and conversational data in all its rich forms, voice, video, and chat. Unlocking that is probably one of the great opportunities in front of every UC solutions provider and partner out there today.
That's fantastic. And for anyone looking to download the report, Andy, what's the best way to find it?
Oh, just look, visit dubber.net. Drop into the Learn section. You'll find or just search the site. You'll find AT&T Dubber survey. It'll pop up. There's also a wealth of other content there. Do subscribe while you're there to our news updates, because we put a ton of relevant, non-spammy content in there that you might enjoy as well.
That's great. And we'll put a deeper link in the description there for anyone interested in downloading that report. So I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. But Andy, thank you for joining me today. It's been great talking to you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Rob.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you've got some good takeaways from today's session, do give us a quick mention on social and subscribe to our channel for more industry news and insights. I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.